So a few months ago, I got into this mood where I was listening to a lot of like punk music, specifically more like hardcore punk music, which I used to do years ago. But it was kind of refreshing in a way because I feel like it helped me think about mixing in a different way. And I guess also production as well. And the track I want to talk about specifically is The Big Takeover by Bad Brains. Basically, this track is super dope. If you haven't heard it, there's a link below. I just want to point it out because I think it's a really good example of how when you're mixing, in my opinion, at the end of the day, you always just need to remember that you're going for vibe. That's what's going to be interesting. This is again just how I view this stuff, and basically, yeah, I would encourage you to listen to this track because if you wanted to be kind of snooty, in some ways this track sounds especially by like modern mixing standards, but I'm sure even at the time it was made, like it seems like very like kind of compressed or just very small. It's not like this wide, bright, open thing. It's just kind of this like huge energy bomb. For me, this was just very interesting to listen to, and then I started listening to some other like hardcore punk stuff at the time. And I mention this because when it comes down to mixing, it can be fun to kind of take this attitude into it where you're like, if you're listening to some of this stuff, then you go mix. At least when I did this, I really was not caring about like anything when I went into mixing. I was like, yo, I'm just going to distort everything. I'm going to compress everything. I'm just going to have a great time and not be stressing about having this beautiful sounding whatever. And yeah, I just figured I would talk about it because maybe some of y'all out there might benefit from hearing this. And yeah, I'd encourage you to check out that track. And if you like it, again, just listen to the mix and consider just how it was done. And yeah, it's an interesting mix. And it might influence your own production and your own mixing, I guess. So yeah, I guess as another note, I kind of at least for me, as time and time goes on, I really view like production and mixing almost to be the same thing. So while it did like influence my mixes, at least some of them, it also kind of more influenced my production because then I would just start distorting, like I said, just going ham on like every element. And then at the end, I think I even was experimenting with like throwing amps on the master and stuff like this. And yeah, so check it out. Maybe it'll give you some ideas with your own mixing and productions and stuff. That's it. Big Takeover, Bad Brains. Link in the down below. And if you want, Patreon. So if you've been watching these videos and getting benefit out of it, I'd really appreciate it if you go to my Patreon page. You can donate a few dollars a month. It really helps me out. And it's just super dope. You can get a bunch of free samples that I recorded around Detroit, around Austin, around Toledo. And they're really nice, like atmospheric ones. And you get one link and you can download all of them easily. And then you can also get private lessons with me. You can get track feedback with me. So go ahead, check it out. Patreon below. Subscribe, tell a friend. Thank you so much. Adios.